Welcome to One Chapter, One Thought. I'm Pastor Chris from Lincroft Bible Church in New Jersey, and every weekday I read one chapter of the Bible and offer one brief devotional thought. Today's reading is from the book of Genesis, chapter 28. So Isaac called Jacob, blessed him, and said, "You must not marry any of these Canaanite women. Instead, go at once to Padan Aram, to the house of your grandfather Bethuel, and marry one of your uncle Laban's daughters. May God Almighty bless you and give you many children, and may your descendants multiply and become many nations. May God pass on to you and your descendants the blessings he promised to Abraham. May you own this land where you are now living as a foreigner, for God gave you this land to Abraham." So Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Padan Aram to stay with his uncle Laban, his mother's brother, the son of Bethuel the Aramean. Esau knew that his father Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him to Padan Aram to find a wife, and that he had warned Jacob, "You must not marry a Canaanite woman." He also knew that Jacob had obeyed his parents and gone to Padan Aram. It was now very clear to Esau that his father did not like the local Canaanite women. So Esau visited his uncle Ishmael's family and married one of Ishmael's daughters, in addition to the wives he already had. His new wife's name was Mahalath. She was the sister of Nehobath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son. Meanwhile, Jacob left Beersheba and traveled toward Haran. At sundown, he arrived at a good place to set up camp and stopped there for the night. Jacob found a stone to rest his head against and lay down to sleep. As he slept, he dreamed of a stairway that reached from the earth up to heaven, and he saw the angels of God going up and down the stairway. At the top of the stairway stood the Lord, and he said, "I am the Lord, the God of your grandfather Abraham and the God of your father Isaac. The ground you are lying on belongs to you. I'm giving it to you and your descendants. Your descendants will be as numerous as the dust of the earth. They will spread out in all directions, to the west and to the east, to the north and to the south. And all the families of the earth will be blessed through you and your descendants. What's more, I am with you, and I will protect you wherever you go. One day I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have finished giving you everything I have promised you." Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I wasn't even aware of it." But he was also afraid and said, "What an awesome place this is! It is none other than the house of God, the very gateway to heaven." The next morning Jacob got up early. He took the stone he had rested his head against, and he set it upright as a memorial pillar. Then he poured olive oil over it. He named the place Bethuel, which means house of God, although it was previously called Luz. Then Jacob made a vow, "If God will indeed be with me and protect me on this journey, and if he will provide with me food and clothing, and if I return safely to my father's home, then the Lord will certainly be my God. And this memorial pillar I have set up will become a place for worshiping God, and I will present to God a tenth of everything he gives me." One thought. God's plan to save the world began with his promise to Adam that the seed of a woman would come and crush the head of the serpent. God extends that promise to Abraham. Abraham would become a great nation, and his seed would bless the world. The promise then passed to his son Isaac, and now to Isaac's son Jacob. In this chapter, Jacob goes off to find a wife so he won't marry a Canaanite woman. And while he is traveling, he has a dream of a stairway to heaven. The point of the dream is for the Lord to confirm his covenant with Jacob. He says in verses 13 and 14, "I am the Lord, the God of your grandfather Abraham, the God of your father Isaac. The ground you are living belongs to you. I'm giving it to you and your descendants. Your descendants will be as numerous as the dust of the earth." All of these things are covenant language that God had previously used with both Abraham and Isaac, and so clearly God is passing on the promises to Jacob and the covenant that he makes with Jacob. What's also interesting, though, is that he says that all the families of the earth will be blessed through you and your descendants. Literally, the Hebrew text says you and your seed. In the Hebrew Bible, when we see this word seed, there's a play on words here. The term seed is both singular and plural at the same time. It's what's known as a collective noun. And so, for example, you could say, "I planted one seed in the ground," or you could say, "I scattered seed in the ground, which would mean many. And so there's this play on words where many people initially thought this seed was referring to all the descendants of Abraham, but the New Testament interprets this term seed to mean one singular descendant, Jesus Christ. Paul says that the promises to Abraham were made to you and your seed, not seeds. And so this passage we also see is fulfilled in Jesus. This dream of this stairway is alluded to by Christ in John 1:51, where he says to his first disciples, "You will see angels of God ascending and descending on the Son of Man." Jesus is the promised seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and he is also the new ladder or staircase between heaven and earth. He is the point of connection between God and humanity.